The European Union has offered $635 million to Niger to help the country curb the movement of migrants making their way to Europe. The bloc is stepping up cooperation with key African countries of origin and transit to ensure few people reach European shores illegally. The latest money comes from the EU's New Africa Fund, as well as from Germany, France and Italy. The EU has also offered increased assistance to Senegal, Ethiopia, Nigeria and Mali in similar money for migration deals. Elena Casas is keeping tabs on this story and joins us live from Brussels with more details. Elena, do we know how the more than $600 million allocated to Niger will be spent?
Well, as you say, the money is specifically linked to achieving reductions in the number of people travelling to Europe from Africa. So there's a mix of different programmes that this is intended to fund. Some of it is intended to bring some of the estimated 200,000 Nigerian citizens who were displaced in neighbouring countries back to their hometowns and villages and to help them reintegrate once they get back there. Some of it, though, is focused on what NGOs have called more repressive policies. That's especially helping the Nigerian government to secure its borders by doing things like collecting biometric data on people who cross those borders. Now, some NGOs, like Oxfam, have said that this measure is too repressive and that anyway it doesn't work. Some of this EU help to help secure the borders of that country has already been in place for some months, and the European Union is saying it's been a success in reducing migration. They said in a report that came out on Wednesday that the number of people leaving Niger to travel to Europe had fallen from about 70,000 in May to just 1,500 in November. But NGOs are saying, hang on, it's not that those people just aren't making the trip, it's that they've worked out where the EU-funded checkpoints are and they're simply going around them and taking a different route. So there is a question mark over whether these measures actually are effective.
So, Elena, several countries have been considered in this EU anti-migration program. What will be expected from them in return?
Well, the EU is hoping to broker similar agreements earlier this year with Mali, Nigeria, Senegal and Ethiopia. Some of those countries are closer to getting those agreements than others. Senegal, for example, still needs to make a lot of progress, the EU says, whereas Nigeria is closer to an agreement. European Union countries started deporting Nigerian citizens back there under the beginnings of this agreement in October. And the EU says in the last few months it's deported about 4,400 Nigerian and Nigerian citizens back to their countries under the beginnings of this deal. Of course, that is a tiny fraction of the number who've travelled to Europe in recent years. So there's certainly a lot of progress to be made. And in exchange for this funding, these countries will be expected to take a very active role in trying to discourage people from leaving to travel to Europe and indeed to reintegrate them back into their communities if they have been deported.
All right, Elena Casas in Brussels, thank you.